the classes in C# are blueprints for creating objects, but not all of the classes are meant to be instantiated or inherited, which is why the sealed and static modifiers are used. Let's start with the sealed class. When you declare a class as sealed, you're saying that that class cannot be inherited by other classes. On the other hand, you can still create instances or objects of the sealed class. The main reason that you would want to seal a class is to prevent further inheritance. And you might want to do that if you have created a class with specific functionality, and also for reasons that are related to ensuring consistent behavior, security, or avoiding potential complications. And this is why you don't want any other class to inherit from your sealed class. The static class, on the other hand, in C# is a class that cannot be instantiated, which means that you cannot create objects of a static class. Also, a static class can only contain static members. So why would you want to use a static class? The static classes are typically used to represent utilities or functionalities that don't need to be tied to an instance. And this way, the static classes provide a way to group related methods without the overhead of creating an object. For example, in C#, the math class is a static class because it serves as a collection of mathematical functions that don't really need an object to be instantiated in order to get access to these functions. Now let's take a look at some code examples. The first one demonstrates the use of the sealed class. Let's imagine that you're creating a new software which keeps medical records, and in your system you have a fundamental class for the patient's test results. This is our test result class. And the reason you want to declare this class sealed is that you want to preserve the current functionality, and you don't want any additional functionality or potentially vulnerabilities to be introduced by another class which inherits from our test result class. And let's take a look at the class quickly. You have the test name, the patient name, the date, and the result. And in our test result class, there is only one method, which is toString. It overrides the object's toString method, and in our instance, it returns the patient name, the test date, and the result. And now let's demonstrate the use of this class, test result. Let's go to our program C# file. Here we create a new test result object. If you remember, if you look at the constructor, it takes the test name, the patient name, the date, and the test result. And we are creating a new object with a test name is a blood test, the name of the patient, the current time we use as the test date, and we set the test result as normal. And this line here uses the toString method to print the patient name, the test date, and the test result. Now let's run the program quickly. And you can see it's Jane Smith blood test on the date, and the test result is normal. Now, if you actually try to inherit from this class, now let's try to inherit and see what happens. We are going to create a public class, specific test result, and we're going to try to inherit from our test result. And you can see that the compiler gives us an error. The specific test result cannot be derived from the sealed class test result. And this is exactly why we use the sealed keyword when we create our test result class, to make sure that its structure and methods are preserved and consistent throughout the whole application, and that we are sure that no derived class can actually introduce any new behavior or modify the existing behavior. Now let's take a look at the second code example, which demonstrates the use of the static keyword. Quite often the static classes utility classes, and this is the case here as well. We declare a public static class called textUtilities. It contains two methods. The first one capitalizes each word, and the second one removes the extra white spaces. Now let's demonstrate the use of this class. This is our main method. This is our input string, the quick brown fox. You can see that there's quite a few extra white spaces which we want to remove, and we want to capitalize each word. And we're using our textUtility class to do that. And we call the two methods. The first one here capitalize each word, and inside we call the remove extra white spaces method. And if I run the program, the result is the quick brown fox. The reason we declared our class static is since it provides utility methods for common text manipulation, and there is no need to create an instance of this class in order to use the methods. And the methods themselves don't actually rely on any instance-specific state of the data, and instead they operate solely on the input they're given and return a result. This is a very typical use case for a static class which groups related utility functions that are stateless and can be accessed without the overhead of object instantiation. And just to summarize, the sealed class is all about preventing inheritance. The static class is about creating a class which has no instance-specific functionality and members, and the methods can actually be directly accessed through the class name. And that was another quick tutorial from me. Thank you for watching.